everybody, I am back with another video, and if you're wondering why I'm wearing the same outfit and if you think that's gross, I literally filmed the previous video that I posted 5 minutes ago, so I'm not as gross as you think. So this video is actually going to be about my hair dyeing journey, or at least my self-hair dyeing journey, because it has been a journey, and it is a review of 3 different products that I've used. I'm going to preface this whole story with the fact that I was professionally getting my hair bleached to basically white for about a year. It was about a year that I had white hair, and eventually I couldn't afford it anymore, and by the time my roots had grown out so far that my bangs were almost completely back to my normal brown color, I had decided to finally try something that I've always wanted to try, which was dye my hair purple. And I figured since my hair was already a really light color, it would come out really vibrant and look beautiful, which I was correct. So I went out and bought my first hair dye that I'll be talking about, which is Splat. Now Splat you can purchase basically anywhere, Walmart, Target, CVS, like any drugstore. And it's about $11, $12, I believe. It's not too expensive. And I got the, I think it's like Midnight Blue or something like that. I don't quite remember the name. But it was their dark purple, and boy was it a bright purple. Like, it was an absolutely gorgeous color. And my first pro, I'm going to go through the pros and cons of these. My first pro for Splat was that it had such a vibrant and beautiful color. It was so bright, so beautiful. It was probably my it is like my second favorite. It was very close to the kind of purple that I wanted, but not quite there. It ended up being a bit brighter than I wanted. I wanted a really dark, deep kind of royal purple. So my second pro for this then would be that it was the same color that was on the box, because that is an issue I ran into in the next hair dye that I decided to purchase. The next pro that I have for this is that it was actually very easy to use. Now, I didn't go out and buy the materials or the tools that you're supposed to use when you're dyeing your hair because I am cheap. I just bought some gloves and I literally just put the hair dye in my hand and then put it through my hair. Now this one was really easy to use because it was more of like a liquid rather than like a gel or something. So it was very easy to spread through my hair and get on everything, like every strand of hair, so that everything was the same, even, uniform color, and it looked amazing. The last pro that I have for this item, or for this product, is that it also happened to fade to a very nice color. It faded to this beautiful kind of light lavender kind of color. It was really pretty. I didn't mind it. I thought it was really beautiful, so I didn't mind that it faded. Or I didn't mind the fact that it fades, because every hair dye is going to fade, and I didn't mind the fact that this faded to this color, because sometimes when it fades it looks worse, but this one I actually really liked the faded color, so it wasn't a big deal to me. I do have some cons though, the first one being that it stains very, very easily. That's probably the biggest con that I have for Splat, is that it stains everything. It stained the towel I used, it stained my pillowcase, my red pillowcase. It stained my wall and my floor. I actually had to bleach my wall and my floor. It was not fun. I accidentally dropped the bottle and it sprayed everywhere. The other con that I have is that it does rinse out pretty quickly. I think it lasted about a month, then I'd have to re-dye my hair. So it's not a very long-lasting color. So that's my review of Splat. If I had to give it a blank out of 10, I would say probably a 7 out of 10. It was pretty good. Had a couple flaws. Not that bad though. Now the next color that I tried. Do I have some thoughts on the next color that I tried? The next thing I tried was Arctic Fox Dark Purple. I eventually ran out of Splat, and I figured why not try a different product. So I went out and I went to Hot Topic and I got Arctic Fox. Now Arctic Fox is not as easy to buy as Splat. You can go to Hot Topic. I'm not really sure what other physical stores you can buy it at, but you can purchase it online as well. But I went to Hot Topic and I believe it was $13 or $14, so it was a little more expensive. I'm going to preface my horror story with Arctic Fox by saying that I had re-bleached my own hair. So I don't know if me bleaching my own hair messed it up somehow. I just used a box bleach from the drugstore. I'm not sure if that ended up messing with the length of time that the Arctic Fox color stayed in my hair, but from what other people have told me that used Arctic Fox, it probably didn't. But let me go into my horribly long list of pros for Arctic Fox. Horribly long. There's literally only one thing I put on here that was good about Arctic Fox, and that's that it smelled nice. And that's not something you should use it as a deciding factor for a hair dye, is the fact that it smells nice. So my cons, the first one is that the color that came out of the bottle and ended up in my hair looked literally nothing like the bottle. I went home, put on my gloves, squeezed the bottle, and it was a magenta. It wasn't the dark purple that was advertised on the bottle, or the name of it was like dark purple or something, like it's supposed to be a dark purple, and it ended up being like this reddish purple magenta. It was a bright magenta. My hair was a bright magenta. And then it faded to pink, which, by the way, second con, it fades incredibly fast. I would only have it in my hair for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I wash my hair every 3 to 4 days. And it faded to a pink. Pink, orange, and yellow are my least favorite colors, and my hair would fade to a light pink, and I hated it. So I don't know if every Arctic Fox color is a lie like that one was, but I did not have a good time. And my last con for this is that it was very hard to apply. It came in a squeeze bottle that had, it was kind of like a shampoo bottle, you know, it has a little hole that it comes out of, and so you just squeeze it out into your hand, and it was like this gel, like this very thick gel consistency. So I ended up needing to use a lot more of the product than I really needed to, just to try to get every bit of my hair, and even then it still came out kind of splotchy sometimes. All those things combined, I really don't recommend this product. I genuinely give it a 1 out of 10, the 1 just because it smells nice. But honestly, if you can, just avoid Arctic Fox. I have had plenty of my friends tell me horror stories, like people that I actually know tell me horror stories and how horrible Arctic Fox was, but I figured I'd give it a try because I've seen some positive reviews online. Trust me when I say, don't use Arctic Fox. It's not worth your money. So after the Arctic Fox disaster, I struck some luck, actually. I came across my personal new favorite hair dye, which does have some controversy behind it, like a couple years back. So if you don't like this brand, I'm sorry, but it's my favorite for hair dye anyway, which is Lime Crime. I got the color Squid, which was a dark grayish kind of purple, and it's the closest that I have gotten to the purple that I wanted. When I originally dye my hair, it literally looks like squid ink, like it's a dark, like a really, really dark purple, almost black. This actually kind of goes into my first pro, which is it fades to a beautiful color. It's like this purplish gray, and it's just like, because I have that other color in my hair, the Arctic Fox, and like a couple other colors in my hair, like the blonde, there's some blonde spots still, some brown spots, the pinkish color from Arctic Fox, it fades into like this beautiful, like oil spill kind of pattern in my hair, like there's greens, purples, blues, like it fades beautifully. I think I've had it in my hair for about a month now, so this is about what it fades to in a month, which I think is beautiful. I really like this color. So I guess that kind of has to do with another pro, is that it lasts way longer than any of the other dyes that I've tried, and this is without, normally, like the first 2 dyes, I was very careful about washing my hair with cold water. This dye, admittedly, I don't worry about that so much, so I wash it with warm water, and it still stays pretty well. And a couple other pros that I have is it smells very nice. It was really easy to apply. It comes in a pot rather than a bottle like the first 2, so you can just dip your fingers in and then kind of like smear it on your hair. And it's still a gel-like consistency, but it's not as thick as the Arctic Fox, so it's still really easy to move through your hair. The next one is that it was the same color that was on the packaging, so that's fantastic. It had a very vibrant color. Like I said, it was like this gorgeous dark ink purple when you first wash it, and it's very, very vibrant. It hardly washes out in the first wash, so I know a lot of hair dyes, when you first wash your hair, like the crunchy stuff out of your hair, there is a ton of dye coming out, and the next couple of washes there's even more dye coming out. And with this one, that first wash, getting all the crunchy stuff out, pretty much nothing comes out in the sink. Like, it does for a couple seconds until you get all the crunchy stuff, until it's like all wet and gone, and then you don't even see the color washing out of your hair. It's pretty great. So it doesn't get on your pillows, it doesn't get on your clothes, it doesn't get on your towels. It's pretty amazing. The only con is that it is the most expensive one on this list. I believe it is $16, which really isn't that bad. My hair is really short and I've gotten 2 dyes out of 1 bottle so far, so I can't really complain. So if I had to recommend one, I definitely recommend Lime Crime. I genuinely give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's the best out of all of these, and if you can afford it, then get it. But if you can't afford it, then try Splat. Splat is also very, very good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!